program, and I just tingle all over. Just thinking about spending time with you. So thank you for listening in and bringing friends with you. I guarantee you when you listen to the program, you're going to feel good. No matter what we talk about, you're going to feel good because we are just intentional on providing positivity and dealing with the challenges of life and put a positive spin on it. So thank you so much. We're talking about the earthquake. Everybody's talking about it. I woke up this morning and I had a cab driver who just traumatized me. Have you ever had somebody bring you some news and you just didn't have time to really get your mind together, get your wits together, and you panicked? And so he talked to me and was all fired up and had seen the tragedy that's taking place in Japan on television, and I saw it as well after talking with him. And I called my daughter and woke her up. I called the producer at 2 o'clock. I said, you guys need to get out of Los Angeles right now. He was telling me about water, that California was on water, and that California was just, it was proposed to go underwater. It would be flooded with water because of this tragedy here, the tsunami. And I said, oh my goodness, I'm a rookie. I don't know anything about this. And so this guy was speaking with such authority, driving a cab, and I believed everything he told me. I believed him. You would have thought, that he was an expert of some national reputation on this, the way he talked about it. He knew so much stuff about this, and I took all of it, hook, line, and sinker. But you shouldn't be surprised. I still have water, 6 propane gas stoves, and 2 generators from Y2K. So, I'm not going for the 2012 stuff. I don't care what they say, but when Y2K came, I was in the basement in Washington, D.C. with a flashlight and some Glory canned soul food. Feeling like a fool, you hear me? I had my grandchildren and children, everybody there. And they said, Grandpa, you can come out the basement now. Okay, so, all right, whatever. Let me I want to talk to Sandra right now, Northridge. I want to know, how do you handle tragedies when they come into your life unexpectedly? Thank you so much, Sandra, for calling in from Northridge. Your mom and sister died of an aneurysm. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. And you've been diagnosed with something as well. Tell me, what are you up against?
I'm up against the same thing. I was diagnosed with an aneurysm 9 years ago. And it was that moment, even though I had seen my mother and sister pass from it, that I realized, what am I going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just went blank when I got the news. And what I really want to say is that you have to stand firm in your faith more than ever at those moments, as people know. But there is a choice that you say, listen, I can give up right here, or I can just dig my feet in and find out what life is all about for my family, because my mom was 45, my sister's 42, and I'm now 47. So
wow.
There was also that to it, that, I'm living past them, and what do I do? So it just made me stronger in my faith, believe it or not. I don't live with that thought every day, but I do. I become a better grandmother. I become a better mother. It's amazing how something that could have been might eventually be so tragic, became something that really changed my life.
Absolutely. And it was something you said that's so crucial. You said that you can decide to give up, or you decide that you're going to fight and to dig your feet in and decide to deal with it. And that's when you pull on your faith to handle situations of that nature.
Absolutely, and learn from them.
Mm-hmm.
There is a purpose for all of us, I believe, but not as much as I did that moment when I thought, okay, Lord, what is it that you need for me to do? And it wasn't anything grand. It was just change, and then the people around you will follow, as a grandmother, as a mother, as a sister.
Mm-hmm.
It really brought me peace. And that's
Yes.
very odd to say, but it really did. And I now take every day with all of the love and joy that comes with just living, and so for me, in choosing to fight, it brought me happiness and peace in my life. So.
Yes, absolutely. But I tell you, and I want you to continue to listen to the program, because this show today was written for me, and I'm going to share something on the program that happened to me recently that's right down the same track. Well, thank you so much for calling in, and thank you for listening. I can hear that strength and faith in your voice.
Thank you, and God bless you.
Yes, God bless you as well. I appreciate you. Thank you. Now, listen, I'd like to talk to Peggy. She's on line 6. Peggy, thank you so much for calling in. Now, Peggy, your sister died, and her sons on the. Tell me the story behind this.
Okay, my sister was diagnosed with a genetic disorder at age 7 and was institutionalized. My mom went away for 3 months, and my father left.
Wow.
He couldn't handle it.
He couldn't. Your father could not handle it.
Couldn't handle the point of my sister being ill.
Okay. Wow.
And so he dealt with a lot of guilt. One of my visits to him in Northern California, he informed me that my sister had died. And I was like, what? I was like freaking out, called my mother, and couldn't get a hold of my mother, got a hold of my grandmother, and my grandmother said that my father was full of hooey. And fast forward, my sister at age 31 died of respiratory failure, nothing to do with her disease process. And we were going into Red Robin in Colorado with my mom, my stepdad, one of my brothers, myself, and my son for my son's 7th birthday. And my mom went to go park the car, and my brother came running in and says, "We've got to go. Mary Beth just died."
Who's Mary Beth?
Mary Beth's my baby sister.
And
I said, "What?" And he says, "Yeah, you have to drive. Mom's freaking out. Michael's freaking out because two of my stepbrothers were murdered previously."
Wow.
So here I have both of my stepfather and my mother freaking out. I have my baby brother freaking out. And my son's going, "I want a hamburger."
Oh, God. Come on.
I'm not kidding.
Oh, God.
And, I'm like, "Honey, we need to take care of Grandma first, and we'll get going." When immediately I
Peggy, here's what I want to know, Peggy. How did you handle that? How did you not lose your mind?
I handled it. I called my grandmother. And she says, get your mother on the next plane. We will deal with this emotionally in 6 months and give it to God in the meantime. 3 days later, my great aunt died. My grandmother's older sister. And we both looked at each other and said, we'll deal with it in April. And in April, my grandmother and I had a big cry. We prayed to God. We gave it all to God. And that's how we deal with it. In 6 months, we'll deal with it.
Boy, now, I have never heard anything like this before. Say, we will deal with it in April.
Well, in 6 months. It was October when it happened.
Yes, you say, we will deal with it in 6 months. We will handle it right now, but we will deal with it in 6 months.
Right, and in the process, we will pray about it, and God will show us the best way to handle it.
Wow.
And my grandmother and I sat there, and we had a good cry for about 20 minutes, and we were good.
And you were good.
And the common ground between my grandmother and I is that we're both nurses. So we deal with, giving people bad news and horrible things.
But you've learned how to handle it, though.
Yeah, and I do hospice, and, I work in ICU and CCU where, people are really sick. Right.
Okay, I've got to get this commercial. Listen, I've got to get this, Peggy. Hold on just a minute. I'll be right back with you, okay? Whoa. Okay, listen, we got to take a break.